guys, today I'm doing a quick little chatty video for you and I'm going to be telling you my top 10 tips, oh there's a lot of alliteration there, for getting over a weight loss plateau. If you're new here, my name is Rachel Aust and don't forget to subscribe. I feel like everyone who's watching this video probably knows what a weight loss plateau is. If anyone doesn't, it's when you've been losing weight and then all of a sudden it feels like, you know, you're still exercising, you're still eating healthy, but the weight is not budging. Now, I'm not just talking about the weight on the scales, I'm actually talking about your body fat percentage as well. If you've been following a diet and exercise routine for a while and you see that your results are starting to slow down or the scale isn't budging anymore, that is completely normal. A lot of weight loss programs aren't going to tell you that because you can't sell a weight loss program by saying, you'll stop losing weight later on, but that's a totally normal human process, but that is what happens. If your body does this, it's functioning correctly. Because if you think about it, your body will adapt to almost any situation that you put it in, except for, I don't know, pain and trying to breathe underwater. You know, I'm talking general situations. Like if you move into a house that's next to a busy road, when you first move in, that traffic noise is going to drive you insane. 2 months later, you don't even notice it's there. And then someone will come over and be like, oh wow, it's loud in your house. And you've totally zoned it out. The same thing happens like if you move to a location that is cooler. And at first you are freezing all the time, but then eventually you acclimatize to that new location that you're in. The body needs to adapt to whatever situation you put it in. So when you've been following the same food plan for a while, when you've been following the same exercise routine for a while, now by this I mean the exact same routine, like you're doing pretty much the same exercises, you're not changing the weights if you're lifting weights, you're not changing your repetitions, that's when your body's going to get used to it. So to take my own weight loss as an example, the first month that I started weight training, I lost 11 centimeters from my waist alone. So other areas of me lost weight of course, but that waist measurement was like straight away. And then when it finally came time to me trying to lose my last 3 kilos, that took 6 months. The closer that you get to your target, the harder it's actually going to be. I'll take you through some things that I've learned. Now this is out of my own practice and out of journal articles that I've read for my nutrition study, and I will talk you through the best way to overcome a diet plateau. My number one tip would have to be mindset. I think it's really important for you to stay on top of the game mentally. Learn to relax about it a little, release that anxiety, and just believe in yourself and believe in the process. If you continue to progress and you continue to eat better food and you continue to do more with your exercise, it's going to happen. Might not be overnight, but you will get there eventually. And if you think you're going to fail, you probably will. A lot of people set themselves up for failure by thinking, oh, I'm not going to be able to do this, or oh, I'm not going to be able to lose weight, I'm going to put weight back on. If you tell yourself that that's going to happen, then that's going to happen. Number 2 is how much you're eating. You could be overeating or you could be undereating. You have my Get Lean nutrition guide. It'll show you roughly how much you should be eating, give you a calculation for you to do so you can figure it out. And it's just good to every now and again check up on what you're eating. I don't count calories every day, it's just a hassle. Every now and again though, I'll put a day into MyFitnessPal and I'll see how much I'm eating roughly, just to get a good idea whether I'm on the right track or not. If you've lost a lot of weight but you haven't gained, you know, an excessive bodybuilder amount of muscle, you may need less food to keep your body running. Or if you are trying to lose weight and you're eating too few calories, so I see a lot of diet plans that are only 1400 calories, 1200 calories, or even less, which is insane. Your body can't function off that little food, and you will actually be surprised when you start eating the right amount of food. So for me, I had to get up to 2000 calories to shift those last 3 kilos, which sounds really counterintuitive, but it's not. If you're not feeding your body, then it's going to think there's no more food coming and it's going to try and hold on to what you've got. My third tip would be to increase your workouts. Now, I'm not talking about exercise longer each day or exercise more days in a week. I mean, increase the intensity of your workouts. For my strength training, I'm still following the Get Lean Mesomorph guide. Now, they're designed by body types, so I'm a mesomorph, so that's the one that I follow. I increase how much weight I am lifting, and every now and again I increase the repetitions that I'm doing. That guide will show you exactly how to do that, but that's what I do. So you've got to step it up as often as you can, get stronger, and you will get fitter. Number 4, if you're finding it's one particular area that will not go away, so for example, if it's the backs of your arms or the tops of your thighs, or if it's your belly, you should go get a hormone panel test run by a doctor. They can see if there's any hormonal imbalance which is causing you to hold the weight. Same thing goes if you have an underactive or overactive thyroid. That can be altering what your body is going to be doing with its weight. You can't always out-train your chemistry, so it's a good idea to get those things checked up if you're finding there's just one particular area that is not budging. We recently did a blog post on this, so I'll link that in the description box if you want to have a read of the different hormones and where they affect your fat storage. Number 5 is to zigzag your calories. I'm a huge believer in this. If you're training, you need to eat more. If you're not training that day, you need to eat a bit less. If you do decide to count calories, I would recommend counting on a weekly basis rather than on a daily basis. So you have your target for the week, and then you're going to divide that between the different days. So on the days where you're doing a lot of training, you're gonna have the higher calories, and the days where you're not training, that's the lower calorie days. But at the end of the week, it should still all add up. Number 6 is get more sleep. According to a study in Environmental Health Perspectives in 2010, a lack of sleep has been correlated with health disorders, metabolic disorders, hypertension, and a whole bunch of other stuff that you don't want. When our internal clock is disrupted, then so is our metabolism. And the study was showing that when humans and animals were exposed to more light, when their body was about to start falling into like ready to go to sleep, you know, at night, getting tired, when they were exposed to light, then their brain reset that clock and it kept them up for longer, and it meant that they were sleeping in later into the day. And think about it, what are most of us doing when we're up? We're either on the computer, on our phone, watching TV, and you've got that light hitting you, and you could be interrupting your sleep pattern. I've got some notes here jotted down that came from a journal article that I was reading, so I'll go through these. So studies show links between short or disrupted sleep are linked with metabolic syndrome, which has a variety of symptoms, which can lead to heart disease, stroke, diabetes, including high triglycerides and cholesterol, hypertension, insulin resistance, and glucose intolerance. So in November 2001, there was a study that was documented in occupational and environmental medicine, and it showed that shift workers, so people who are working at night or weird hours, had high triglyceride levels and lower concentrations of good cholesterol in their body. And there was a study reported in 2009 in the Journal of Endocrinology and Metabolism. And after sleep-deprived episodes, so what they did, they had people just following their own regular diet, and then some of them, they deprived them of sleep for a bit of time. So those ones who had the sleep deprivation, after the periods of time where they did that, they showed increased insulin resistance. So their body was a lot more stubborn when it came to foods that are high in sugars and high in carbohydrates. It couldn't process them as well. And they showed a decreased tolerance for glucose. If you're having trouble sleeping, I do recommend switching off your devices at least an hour or half an hour before you're going to bed. Give yourself some time away from the screens and go and reset. Either read a book or just do something that doesn't involve a screen and technology in your face, bright light. Get away from it. Number 7 is eat more quality food. So a mistake I see a lot of people making is setting themselves a calorie limit and filling that calorie limit with rubbish. What I personally like to do is just eat high quality food. So I'm talking a lot of fruit, a lot of vegetables, a lot of whole grains and legumes, so nuts, beans, that sort of thing. When you eat this way, you're not subjecting yourself to tons of sodium, which can make you hold water. You're not subjecting yourself to a lot of bad fats, and you're not subjecting yourself to refined sugars. The saturated fats and the refined sugars, they're the ones that are going to make you crave those foods again and again and again, because you'll spike and then you'll fall, and then you think that you need that food again to get your energy levels back up. But if you start eating more wholesome food, you'll actually find that your energy levels will be higher and they will be very, very steady. If you'd like me to film some what I ate in a day videos, let me know in the comments, and I'll definitely get around to doing things like that so you can see what sort of foods that I like to be eating throughout the day. Number 8 is drink more water. Not only does your body sometimes mistake thirst for hunger, but also we need water to regulate a lot of the processes in our body. It's essential. Physically, if you're not hydrated, you're not at your peak. When you start to lose water, your endurance drops and you'll actually think that you're doing a lot more in your workout than you actually are. You'll also probably find that when you are hydrated, you're not going to be craving things like soft drinks and juices and stuff that's filled with sugar. Number 9 is build more muscle, because the most effective thing for burning fat is muscle. You're going to increase your body temperature when you have more muscle, you're going to be able to eat more food, and you're not going to store as much fat if you are making sure that you're keeping up with a strength training routine. Girls, seriously, please don't be afraid of lifting weights. I lift really heavy weights, and by no means do I look like a bodybuilder. If you do have more muscle mass, then you are going to continue to burn more fat even when you're just sitting around, because while you're doing cardio exercise, which is fair enough, like going for a walk, going for a run, the calories you burn are those calories during the exercise alone. If you go and you lift weights, you'll still be burning calories afterwards. This is why I think it's important to look at your body fat percentage rather than your weight, because muscle does weigh more than fat, even though it looks slimmer. And my final tip is to not give up. If you found that you've hit a plateau, don't just think that you're not losing weight anymore. Don't think that your body is stuck where it is, because it definitely is not. So just make sure that you change something up in your routine. I'll try and put a few resources for you in the description box so that you can help yourself out. Remember, if you do want me to film anything like what I ate in a day, or if there's any other concerns that you guys have, let me know and we'll try and make some videos or blog posts or something about it. If you did find the video helpful though, I'd love it if you'd give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye. I try to get to inbox 0 as often as possible. Unsubscribe from mailing lists that are just trying to sell you things all the time, but